blue, had a baby. That's impossible.
Hey, girl.
You look just like your mother.
Even with a number of wonky and contentious entries in the franchise to this date, Jurassic World is still a billion-dollar franchise. And it's not hard to see why. It's impossible not to be caught up in the excitement of watching dinosaurs beautifully rendered for the big screen. Dominion has been marketed and sold as the actual Jurassic sequel we wanted to see. Dinosaurs now living and hunting alongside humans. However, despite the promises made to audiences in 2018's Fallen Kingdom, as well as all the supporting material, this film still never feels like dinosaurs rule the Earth. This is your warning. Spoilers ahead. In Jurassic World Dominion, dinosaurs have spread across the world, which is something every fan of the franchise has wanted to see realized for decades. Many audience members walked out of Fallen Kingdom disappointed with the overall movie, but felt hopeful that the next one was going to be great, thanks to the tacked-on end monologue visuals and end credit scenes. The ending set up a whole world of possibilities as to where the franchise can go in the future. However, in this film, the filmmakers make the mind-boggling decision to encapsulate our main cast of dinosaurs. InGen's rival company Biosyn has been capturing and housing them at Biosyn Valley, a weather-controlled sanctuary in the Arctic, essentially creating yet another park environment. Trevorrow and the filmmakers behind Dominion had a wide-open goal. Two of the most dominant species of all time are now living aside from one another. What would that do to the human psyche? How would nations react politically? How would we evolve mentally in reaction to this all? All these questions are glossed over, and although we get a small video report at the start of the movie that brings us up to speed with what's happening currently in the world, it ultimately stands to highlight another issue this franchise has had throughout this entire trilogy: the substance and real world building and lore that establishes strong franchises happens off-screen. Dominion doubles down on this. The most egregious example is the film's treatment of Henry Wu, a character that has essentially been built as the franchise's overarching antagonist has had a change of heart. When we meet Wu again, he has essentially been retconned, now regretful for his past actions. It's extremely jarring. Henry Wu was set up and should have been the main villain in this very film. What is more indefensible is that Wu's good guy turn meant he was robbed of an iconic death at the claws of one of the creatures he created. Put simply, Henry Wu gets the General Hux treatment. But then again, there weren't many deaths at all. The death toll is the lowest of the entire trilogy. This effectively neuters the new cast of dinosaurs, especially Giganotosaurus, positioned as the movie's boss dino. The biggest carnivore the world has ever seen loses both of its fights in the movie. Ultimately, though, the movie's real monster boss is a horde of locusts. When they are first introduced for a split second, you may be fooled into believing that their existence is a result of dinosaurs returning to the wild. Perhaps nature evolving at rapid speed to cope with such a drastic shift. Ultimately, no. Biosyn CEO Louis Dodson has created the locusts so Biosyn can control the world's economy. Again, instead of choosing to move ahead with a story where the planet and nature are adjusting outside of humans' control to the shift presented by the reappearance of dinosaurs, thus causing political and social unrest and, in turn, dawning an extinction-level event. The filmmakers chose to scrap that and move forward with a villain who has the ambition of a mustache-twirling Sunday morning cartoon character. The inclusion of these locusts is the same issue the Fallen Kingdom had with the clone girl. Ultimately, both of these stories could be interesting, but in a movie about dinosaurs, it doesn't help to make a good movie about dinosaurs. At times it feels like Jurassic World Dominion is confused as to whether it even wants to be a dinosaur movie, straying into Mission Impossible, Bourne Ultimatum, and Fast and the Furious at times. The most out-of-place sequence includes a female villain in Malta. The whole character feels more like a James Bond henchwoman. The sequence and character felt strangely inaugurated for a Jurassic film, and even this villain doesn't suffer a fate at the claws of the dinos. The movie has been sold as the big finale to the Jurassic era, which makes the ending even more underwhelming. Throughout the entire runtime of the movie, and the franchise overall, we are shown why humans and dinosaurs couldn't coexist, yet in the ending scenes they are seemingly living in harmony with everything around them. Even with so many massive flaws and open goals that were missed, there is still some fun to be had. It's wonderful to see the original trilogy cast on screen again, and Jeff Goldblum is a delight as always, although his character's rationale was definitely better written in The Fallen Kingdom. Other franchise newcomers DeWanda Wise and Mamoudou Athie do their best to make their presence felt amidst the compounding chaos. It's hard not to get caught up in the action set pieces. When Jurassic World Dominion remembers that it is a dinosaur movie, there are some fantastic fight scenes. There is a notable attempt to return the dinosaur designs to genuine species, whilst incorporating the latest theories in appearance and behavior. In terms of new introductions, the Therizinosaurus is the highlight. The blind beast is absolutely terrifying. The scene where the creature stalks Claire is the closest the movie comes to recapturing the horror and suspense of Spielberg's original. Action-wise, when the Quetzalcoatlus attacks the plane is another highlight, yet you'll just wish there were more of these kinds of human-dinosaur real-world scenarios. Are they going to carry on this franchise? Who can tell? The movie starts and ends in the same way. Nothing has really changed. The movie feels more like a filler episode than the grand finale. This closes a chapter and sets up the direction of a new era. The trilogy has moments of brilliance and amusing trash, but Dominion just seems to stray into genuinely insulting the audience's intelligence and expectations. At times, it genuinely feels as if the filmmakers are trying to find anything other than dinosaurs to focus on. Mercenaries, shady scientists, mutant locusts, the dinosaurs seem almost an afterthought in a production that's lost sight of what makes the series special. There's an audience out there for this movie. Kids are going to love it. It's the least gory of perhaps the entire franchise, which means parents won't have to worry about the dinosaurs scaring their youngsters too much. Dinosaur fans might even get something out of this one too, but if you wanted to see a period when dinosaurs ruled the earth, this movie isn't it. Perhaps Prehistoric Planet is the closest we'll ever get to that.
What is that?
Biggest carnivore the world has ever seen.
Run!
You know I can fake a conversation, and you know I can fake it to your eyes, and that ain't just one single complication, 'cause I know that you're